Hello.
Check, check. Wait.
Oh. Oh.
Oh.
No.
Okay, so that's, now what about this?
Everybody.
Sorry, Automax in this one. Okay. Now, the thing is, there's no sound coming out of here.
Is that turned up all the way? Your phone?
Check, check. It's working. Okay. All right. Right.
So I think
Okay, so we are live.
we are
now.
live. Things are happening.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We essentially had to give it the old 1-2 slap.
Yes.
Where
slap.
you just, instead of slapping, it's the unplug, unlink your account and link back in.
My logo looks a little washed out though.
I think you need more light in here to balance it out because.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Well, I can dial this light up.
That's my scientific hypothesis.
Well, hold on. I'll just turn that light on because I know that one's brighter. Does that?
That
Makes it even
didn't
worse.
happen.
What made it even worse? Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if I can dial this down because it's not really that bright, but.
But I think we're so dark.
Or is
Maybe. Can you turn the other one back on, but like lower?
I'll just turn this one.
Oh. I mean, we look a little bit better, but I don't know.
Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, I think you need more balanced light. Now maybe turn your brightness up on here a bit. Yeah. Yeah. Turn this up a little bit more.
Okay.
More science.
Brighter. Is it still washed out?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think maybe put the lights more on the side. Maybe put that like over that way more. So it's not shining directly on it. Cause that just helped a little bit more.
Where's this going?
I don't know if anybody is seeing this right now, but if you are, hello.
Hello.
Did you know that any salad can be a Caesar salad as long as you stab it? Well, now that's in front of the camera.
Oh, great. Great.
It is better. Yeah, I think that's what the problem was. You had the light directly reflecting right off of it.
Man, oh boy. I got all these tripods over here.
What does a duck's tail feather cover? It's butt quack.
Oh boy.
You want the camera to be facing a little bit. Turn it so it's more over here. More. That's good. The bulb of this is, maybe pull that light closer or something, because the bulb of the bulbous light is in the way still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or like, just like.
Well, I can.
Turn it.
Dang it.
Hold on, no. Just like. How's that? Get out of the way. Oh, there we go. Fixed it.
Nice work. All right.
See, yeah,
so
it's all
here
better.
we are. Yes.
Yeah.
This is like, yeah.
All right,
cool.
Tell your friends to scroll 5 minutes into the stream.
Right.
That's when it
Invite
starts.
guests.
We're just getting everybody queued up.
I'm not sending any links out.
No.
Where? Okay, here's this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got nobody watching. That's pretty cool.
Does it tell you 0?
It's just 0. It just says
Awesome.
nobody. But we're only 7 minutes into this. So
all right.
Jesus.
Yeah. We'll pin in the comments.
Well, you know what? My followers, almost all my followers, are like in the Philippines and India, anyways. So they're not going to be waiting.
Perfect. Hopefully this will be something they can wake up to and feel something.
Yeah. So tell us about these snacks again.
So these are Bucky's Beaver Nuggets. I don't know if I bought them open, but at some point they did open on the side. So Bucky's. There you go.
Yeah.
You
can't really read any of that.
All right. So I've never had these before, but Bucky's is pretty iconic if you live in the Southeast. These are purchased at their one south of Atlanta. And so these nuggets, I've been hearing a lot about these beaver nuggets, and they're almost like caramel, like creme brulee Captain Crunch.
Yeah. No, they're very good. No, I'm gonna have to vacuum it here now.
Well, stop chopping with your mouth open. The dust will get everywhere. Just kidding.
And they pair well with Dragon's Milk Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout.
Yep. It's really a pairing that I don't think anybody has made before.
No, I can almost guarantee they haven't. Now Bucky's is a glorified, not glorified. It's a gas station.
Gas
Yeah.
station.
It's a gas station on steroids.
It is not natty at all. There's
No.
nothing natural about it.
No.
But that's why it's so great. And I feel like it is something that they could have thought up in the Idiocracy movie that we probably would have seen now and go, we need that. So.
Well, how many pumps do they have? Like 100 pumps? Gas pumps?
Something like that. Because I want to say like one of their like chunks like has like 48 and like so many gas pumps, a lot of bathroom stalls, nice and clean, especially after a long drive. Sometimes you really need to just sit in there and reevaluate your life.
You know, it's funny about gas stations or bathrooms in gas stations because when you go to like any developing country,
yeah,
the bathrooms are all disgusting. Anything that might be a public bathroom, just you've got a business and you've got a bathroom that's open to the public, it's probably going to be little more than a hole in the floor. But when you come to the United States, the bathrooms here are so clean.
Well, in the populated areas, I've been to a few rural parts of especially Florida, and I had to go to the bathroom one time, and I had to like climb over stuff to get to the toilet.
Ugh.
And this was like in the middle of nowhere because I have family that live
Lobster my glasses.
over by Crescent City, and on your journey there, there's definitely some pockets. I think actually this might have been on the way home from Fort Lauderdale. But
Well, here's the thing.
But at least there's an actual toilet.
That's right. You don't have that.
That
Like
porcelain throne is still there regardless.
I was in Hong Kong and at a park. Choking? Don't choke on camera. Rule number 1, don't choke on camera.
Hold on.
I didn't even get to the gross part. You were already choking.
It went on my nose.
Yeah, that alcohol gets up in your sinuses and it burns.
My God. Well, at least we have on film. If I die, you're acquitted.
Yeah, go. I did. I saw this bitch. She started choking and dying.
I just kept
I mean,
rolling.
it's right here. You see, I put the camera right on it. We start going into cardiac arrest. That's what we'll do. I'll just move it.
All right. This is a great live.
Yes, good.
So bathrooms.
Yeah. So, anyways, Hong Kong. I was in a park. Victoria Park. Is that what it is? Victoria Park. It's a big park, and all the domestic helpers were there because they work Monday through Friday, and then they get the weekends off. but they've got no place to go on the weekends,
Dang.
so they hang out in the park. And these women are from Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, but living a better life in Hong Kong, getting paid okay, sending money home, and then they would all just on their weekends they would just go hang out in the park. And but I was walking past a bathroom, I was like, oh shit, because I'd heard stories. You all right? I'd heard stories about the parks or about the public bathrooms. I said, I got to go see this. So sure enough, it's an open stall with a hole in the floor and a garden hose. Now some of these
nice
didn't have a garden.
bidet.
That's right. Well, everybody's got a bidet in Asia. So, but the bidet is little more than just a hose. But yeah, that's what it was, a hole in the floor and a hose. And you literally have to get undressed. If you've got an emergency, you just get undressed. And everybody does. You would think, oh, they've got some special way of doing this. I got to see how they do. No, they just take their clothes off.
Heck yeah.
That's right, because they don't want to mess up their clothes. But yeah, that's
I went to a public restroom and I did not use it once, right by the Santa Monica Pier, and it was disgusting.
Oh, I'm sure. Santa Monica Pier.
Disgusting.
Because you got homeless
terrible.
people coming in and out. You probably got homeless people living in there at night.
Well, that's why I didn't go all the way in there. It's only natural light, which really wasn't that much. And it was so dark in there, and there's like old pieces of clothing. I did see a needle, and I was like,
You saw a needle?
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I'm going to go any further.
A needle because somebody was doing drugs in there, injecting drugs into their veins, and they just, when they got done with their heroin.
I don't think it was for any hydration processes, but yeah, it was, Santa Monica.
I hate these things.
Pretty dirty.
I cannot stop.
Once.
Damn you, Buc-ee's.
Well, Bucky is a beaver, and I'm sure he loves a good damn.
Yeah, these taste like, this is the shit that RFK Jr. is warning everybody about.
Yes.
Because you can't stop eating this.
No.
And it's not going to be healthy. It's not going to help me sleep.
Especially not this either.
Oh, this isn't good either. But this is delicious. It's all delicious. I hate it.
But at least we got these at Whole Foods, so that's
right. Yeah.
That's a point.
If you're going to get some high alcohol stout, get it at Whole Foods because it's probably healthier.
Well, just being in there and breathing in the chlorophyll, not chloroform, the chlorophyll in the air is, instead of taking a few years off your life, you're only taking off a couple months. They're healthy air.
You know what? I don't think we've had one viewer.
I'm not surprised. But this will be saved, and people can watch it for years to come. Mm-hmm. And I'll get to show my grandchildren someday me choking on camera. And almost having a medical emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I never thought my parents would sell their house for a long time, the one I grew up in. And now I'm so thankful that I have all these videos of me doing YouTube videos in my room because I could show my future kids what my room looked like.
Well, yeah, and what you looked like as a kid.
Yeah.
No, that is pretty good. So yeah.
So, taking...
So when I have grandkids, my kids can, look, there's Grandpa, podcast studio.
Yep.
Oh, Grandpa had a podcast studio. That's so ancient. And what will the future look like?
Oh my God, yeah. Well, because back in the day, you'd want to be Johnny Carson. Now anybody can be.
That's right. Well, and honestly, that's why I sit on the left. Oh. I'm the host. In fact, they tell you that if you're going to do a podcast or you're going to do a talk show, the host always sits on the left because everybody goes left to right.
Right.
So you are the focus. So they're watching left to right. And I'm just supposed to be incidental.
Well, that's like too when they back in the day when people really cared of what was going into the newspaper, making sure that you're sitting on the right hand side, so when the picture is flipped, you're now on the left and your name comes up first in the description.
Oh, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. That's like
Who would have thought we'd still be talking about newspapers in 2025?
yeah.
The newspaper.
That's like if you wanted to take if political figures do this, um, if we were to shake hands and the camera's on this side, and I'd be like, okay, great, my hand is going to be on the top because I'm like asserting dominance.
Okay.
But then if you take then your other hand and cover my hand, now you're asserting the dominance because your hand is the one facing the camera.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even really think about that. So is that? Wait a minute.
Subtle
Trump
ways.
is always on the left. He probably does that on purpose.
But in real
'Cause
life,
you know,
he's on the right.
Yeah, but you see how he shakes
Yeah.
hands anyway. He's a very dominant handshaking individual anyways, and he pulls you in and always on top. Yeah. No, I've studied handshakes.
Have you?
Yes, because my mom was the one who taught me how to shake a hand.
Mm.
And it's one of those things that, that's why they tell you need a dad. You need a dad to teach you how to shake hands, to teach you how to do a bunch of stuff, how to mow the lawn,
My
whatever.
dad showed me how to hustle, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, but shaking hands was one of those things that my mom taught me how to do when I was very young. And then it might have been in not high school, college, which I got started in college later. But when I started learning the different ways you shake hands and what it means, and you know
web
what?
To web.
Because I've had people come in on top like that, and I thought it was obnoxious.
But then you can take your open hand and cover their hand.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then they do that too.
Yeah.
And you've got this big hand stacking thing. But
It's like tic-tac-toe.
yeah, I'd never really thought about that back then, of course. But I do remember people coming in. In fact, because I was really active in student government in college, and guys would do that. They would come in on time. And I'm like, oh, what's that all about?
Oh, yeah.
But now I know.
I still and
they were the most obnoxious guys. That was the thing. The people who would do that, they think that they've got everything rigged. And, they're going to come over on the top and they're going to be dominant and it's going to prove something to somebody. And all I'm thinking is like, why is this guy shaking hands like this? This is so awkward.
Well, that's like they read a sales book and go exactly by the rules. And they don't leave any room for any potential caveats and things like that. But they're like, I read this. I am so confident. This is exactly how it will work out.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about anything, so that's why I do well.
I think so too. There are a lot of people that sit there and say things and do things, and they come across as experts, and nobody questions them because they haven't heard it before. But when you start to put it into practice, you realize, oh,
well, when
this
your
is
hand's
stupid.
on top and you're confident, people typically don't question you anyway. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy a car from you because you came in on top on the handshake. I'm going to think, this guy thinks he's, it's
but
funny.
If they're weird fishy and I'm squishing your bones as I'm giving you a handshake.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. I don't like that
Ew.
either. If you've got soft hands, all I think is you grew up without a dad. That's literally what I think every time I shake. Or now, if I know that you've got a dad and I shake hands and you've got I'm like, holy shit, this guy's not doing his job.
I'm always, every single time I reach out for a handshake, I am just ready to judge.
Yeah, no, me too. Well, yesterday, I met a girl who was not dressed very well. I want you to tell you what I was there for. But I met this girl. It was a little business meeting. And I'm like looking at the way she's dressed. She's got some high top tennis shoes on and some ripped up jeans. I'm like, oh, this girl looks like hell. And but then afterwards I said, hey, it was very nice meeting you, and I shook her hand. She had a very firm handshake.
Nice.
And it completely changed my perception of her. Because I'm like, okay, maybe she just dresses like that because that's her style and she likes it. But ultimately, she closed out the meeting very professionally. And so I'm like, okay, I
know something.
Yeah, I judge people by, and she was about 5'2", 5'3", very thin. Not very strong, but she had a very.
Mean it has to be.
That's right.
Blah, blah, blah.
She had a very strong handshake. So yeah, no, I really I,
Creeping on
actually
the gator
I did
nose
like that.
Karatu.
Yeah, no, I absolutely did like that. Yeah, no, we got no viewers on there. I don't know if we do it or not. I don't. Let me just check my.
If you are viewing, maybe leave a comment down below so we would know that you're there.
Yeah, if you yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Interaction.
I was going to reiterate, but I don't need to. There's no reason.
Like, comment, subscribe. What do you want us to talk about? You probably don't even know what to ask because you don't know us. But
Yeah, if you're not in India or
you might have an interest in different flavors of apples that I just can't talk about in depthly. So.
Yep, top messages. No.
You might have an interest in different flavors of apples.
Now, what we
I
could
love
do.
hearing myself back. It's so great.
Yeah, me too. I know. I hate watching myself on video, and I hate listening to myself. Because I think in my, especially when I wake up in the morning, my voice is nice and deep, and I'm like, oh man, my voice sounds so smooth, I'm like, I don't know what I'm like. But then I hear myself like the AI version of my voice that I created on 11 Labs, and I sound whiny. And I'm like, oh my God, is this the way I sound? Now, Joyce tells me she loves my voice.
Well, you can hear when you're like kind of talking. Like we were talking about this one time where I'm like, I tried to not be so like in my head voice or something, but like, I don't know, create some separation in the back so it doesn't like to me come off so
Yeah. No, it is yeah.
Take it down.
But I don't know how to change it, honestly. And I've told
anybody a voice therapist in the comments? In the chat?
No. Mike Slatin left a comment.
Oh, what did he say?
He said test.
Well, nice. Yeah, you should always test yourself, You never stop learning.
Nobody's watching our shit. Maybe it's just the first thing. Maybe it's the first live event that.
I watched plenty of YouTube videos that were once live.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, I think what YouTube does is they look at it and go, let's not promote this right away. Who knows what they
did swear within the first 2 seconds.
I might have. Well, I did say it wasn't for kids.
That's okay. Sure but I think like they within the first minute not to.
All right, lesson learned. Lesson learned. All right, I'm ready for a non-alcoholic beer.
Oh, you already done this one? Oh my God.
She was delicious. Ugh.
I mean, we're already done half the bag.
This is the way everybody should drink, honestly.
Yeah.
Have non-alcoholic and balance of it.
I have learned recently that I'm not emotionally stable enough to party too hard.
No, I know.
I will start to cry. I need some more healing to happen. But also too, I also shouldn't be drinking like that anymore now that I'm an adult and I should act like an adult. And
Adulting is hard, I know. Having to stay sober all the time, knowing you gotta go to work. Well,
that's why Wagner works, you do both.
I'm excited about that.
Me too. I'm excited for the first 5 years to go past, and
you figure out what you're doing.
Well, and I get to hear about all the businesses and stories that people have because they were able to spend time in a place to foster that.
You know what I want to do? It's like
a community center, but we're drinking.
When Joyce gets here, well, she'll be here in 10 days. I want. Number one, I joined the Chamber of Commerce because I personally want to share more about what I do, and of course I'm active. I've got a couple of different endeavors, and I work with a guy who's got a couple of businesses in the Dunedin area. But also, I want to do more stuff. I just want to be more active in the community.
Yeah.
But I want to do more. like dress up and go out type things. You know, I haven't done that in such a long time, and I want to do that. And
Yeah.
you know, Joyce is beautiful, and when she gets dressed up, she's a bombshell. And it's like I'd like to go out and show her off.
Yeah.
You know, so I need more events to do that.
Well, so there's a all fire grill steakhouse coming to Murphy. Be pretty much across the street called Four Parsons Pub. The place used to be called Parsons Pub. And I would imagine that people would make deals and make their dreams come true at our place and then go celebrate over at Four Parsons Pub.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And so that's kind of what you need to have your little celebratory situation, you know? You can go out and
Well, I think that's one of the things that Dunedin needs to work on. They're working on a couple of things, like
the Black Pearl I heard is nice.
oh, it is. But you know, it's like you got to have a reason to dress up. Just dressing up to go to dinner is like.
Just being alive, you know.
I guess you could just walk down the sidewalk. I mean, Dunedin is a beautiful town to be walking around in.
True.
But it's like I'd like to. I don't know. I would like to do events. I would like to. I don't know exactly.
Well, Wagner Works could sponsor some events for you. Because we want to have. I mean, we're kind of almost going to be like a constantly mixer place, if you will.
Mhm.
You know, people can network, leave their cards, do all this stuff. But then they also have the option to just sit there.
The
and
town of
chill
Murphy.
out.
Would you say Murphy is a blue collar town, or is it a kind of a suburban enclave? Well, how would you describe Murphy?
I would say extremely blue collar entrepreneurial.
Okay.
Because it's not like what I think of like Detroit back in the day, where you had people working at the factories and then they'd go to like the bars after and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The people in and around Murphy and that come through there because like I said, you do have all the nature around there, and a lot of people come there to get away. Life still happens sometimes. Still might need to print something, you know. And there are so many, especially all the business owners, like the restaurants and stuff that we have in downtown Murphy is very like Dunedin small scale. Because they're all local businesses. They're all the local business owners. Some of these businesses have changed hands fairly recently, and we have a new batch of owners that have come in and are looking to do more. Even the guy that's opening up Four Parsons Pub, he used to own like 14 different restaurants, and he's used local people to really amp this thing up. And we also have the casino right there.
Oh.
That's getting a.
Who owns the casino?
It's a.
Is it indigenous American?
It is.
Okay.
But it is a part of Caesars, I think.
Oh.
And fun fact, Quavo is banned from going. Quavo from oh my god.
Not Cuervo, Quavo.
Quavo, the rapper.
Oh.
Yeah, he's banned. He got himself.
Hey Google, who is Quavo?
According to Wikipedia, Quavius Kiate Marshall, better known by his stage name Quavo, is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, and record producer. He is best known as the frontman of the now-defunct hip-hop group Migos.
Migos?
Migos, yeah.
Hey Google, where is Quavo from?
Quavo was born in Athens, Georgia, United States.
Oh, Athens, Georgia.
Yep.
Oh, funny.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
cool.
was acting a fool apparently, and now he can't go back to that casino. But we're getting a Gordon Ramsay restaurant.
Wait a minute. When is that taking place?
Early summer. So like we're getting in on what is going to be like quite.
Wait, Murphy is getting that?
Murphy is getting that. You can get a $69 beef Wellington at this restaurant. Yeah.
Why Murphy?
Well, they already.
So
why
Murphy
did they
sounds
put the
like a
casino there?
high-end little town.
They're attracting because like there's plenty of like stuff for regular people to do, but we're also becoming an area where people that want to spend some money can definitely give us some for sure. We have some accommodations for them, and well, maybe they don't want to look too close, so they probably wouldn't want to go to the grocery outlet where I go for my groceries. But
So where
it's
do you
really
shop in
interesting.
Murphy for groceries?
For groceries, I either go to Ingles or the grocery outlet.
What is Ingles?
Ingles is essentially
How does it compare to Publix?
okay, and I was just gonna say because it's like our Publix, if you will, but to say our Publix, so many people go, oh my god, but no, I literally Ingles is great. They have an incredible cheese selection,
Okay.
and I like their
cheese.
style of the way that it looks in there. Like I hate the way Winn-Dixie looks now with their bright red and white. I hate it.
They want to be the McDonald's of grocery stores.
It is so terrible. And and they do have like good hot ready to go stuff, great salad bar. They have a wide variety of things. That's where I get my Ginger's Revenge. They host a lot of good local items. However, their bread for their subs and like there's like now being away from public subs, I understand why everybody is in love with Pub Sub.
I remember in the 80s when people were talking about getting sandwiches from Publix, and you're like, really? You can get a sub from Publix? Yeah. And I remember when it just became now the only place you really go for a sub.
Yeah.
It's like Subway. I can't believe they're not out of business in Florida
I
because
can't
of Publix.
believe, well, and also too, specifically in Dunedin, we have fire subs, fire whatever it's called.
And I've been there.
I think we have a Mike's, but we also have Delco's, local business. The owners are.
I've been to Delco's.
I
Delco's is delicious.
Love Delco's. They have their sandwich style is akin to like what I am familiar with up in New Hampshire because they're also from like Pittsburgh or something. So
I didn't know.
Pennsylvania. So
Well, the only thing I don't
delicious.
like about Delco's is that they only accept cash.
Yeah.
But that has got to end soon.
I don't think they ain't having a problem every time I go there. There's practically a line out there.
No, I know it. It's like you got to go out of your way though to withdraw cash
Yeah.
to go to Delco's.
I think they maybe.
It is delicious though. I mean, I can understand why people would do it.
Oh yeah. Well, I think they maybe keep it that way so they don't get even more overwhelmed. If they did
Yeah.
accept card.
Oh yeah, true. Now you got to change the technology. They're taking 3% on every purchase,
But
and
even
you're
busier.
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You can't even find
They're
a seat in that place.
Very happy, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would say, well, the first time I went in there and they didn't accept cash, I said, oh, that's not going to last long. That was about a year ago. And they still, I think they're still that way.
Oh yeah.
But they, back then they were probably turning away 1 out of 10. I can imagine they're probably turning away 3 out of 10 people or 4 out of 10 people. But I know people who go there regularly, so they know they need cash.
Yeah.
Interesting. Delco's.
Now
how many locations do they
I
have?
think they just have the one. I don't think they have other ones.
Interesting. They could have more though.
They could, but they're also probably so. Speaking of business and making money and stuff, I did not know until recently. I watched a YouTube video. I forget the creator's name, but she runs an editing company as well as doing her own full-time YouTube channel. And I think her and her husband also have a separate YouTube channel where they do van life stuff. And they have their
Van
house, but they also have the van and stuff like that. So she has multiple ways of income and a lot of
So they're
write-offs
doing van life,
on top of everything.
but they've also got a house.
Yes, small, very small condo. She was talking all about this in the video, and I did not know that some of the profits that you make from your business, because you should be reinvesting that into the business and stuff, but for like tax purposes and stuff, you can also take that money and under your business invest that into a money market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
through the business.
okay.
I didn't know you could do
That seems
that.
kind of smart.
Yeah.
No wonder the rich get richer.
Because then you can still, pay yourself what you want to pay yourself, but still have other money working for the business and
Well, my boss probably does something like that because I know he has a little bit of lavish lifestyle, but he lives comfortably. He's got a nice house and stuff, but he pays himself like $40,000 a year. And but he's got multiple businesses, and I know he's moving money.
Oh yeah. There's so many too, a lot of nonprofits that take advantage of stuff like that, where they file for another 501(c) or whatever it's called, and they just move the money. There's a Black Lives Matter 501(c) that does that.
I think I've heard of that group. I mean, that particular organization.
Yeah,
you're talking about.
they use the message of all that to just keep moving money around. I mean, I've also met somebody down here that I'm surprised they're not in jail yet for their fraudulent behaviors.
Well, that's why you don't put it on YouTube
Well,
or Facebook.
they don't.
Because a lot of those people that get caught,
Yeah.
they're bragging on social media, and then somebody's
How
watching.
are you affording going to?
Okay, so I peruse the job boards just to see what's out there and see what people are hiring for. And in Emmett Dill Air Force Base, they're constantly hiring for like social media listeners and things like that
Really?
in different languages. Okay.
Oh.
So what sparked me was I saw one for Tagalog, which is one of the languages in the Philippines, and just a social media listener, just somebody who understands not only understands language but understands the culture and what they're talking about. Just watching for civil unrest. But if they're doing that and I've seen it for Tagalog, I've seen it for Arabic, and a couple of different languages, them looking for somebody who speaks this language to just be a social media listener. So I guarantee you, they're doing it for English. They're doing it in America. They're watching what's going on. And when they see that you're breaking the law, they're like, oh, look at this. Let's go ahead and shut this guy down.
Well, they're doing that. They're having a huge issue with that in Europe right now.
Mm.
In England, people are getting arrested and there's I was just watching a video. Have you ever seen Yes Theory on YouTube?
No.
They travel, but like they have like purpose with their travel. They're going to these really incredible places. They went to Damascus in Syria recently, and some people that were thrown into prison was over. They were reacting to a Facebook post, which I think is really interesting because if you can get
Wait, they got thrown in jail for reacting to a Facebook post?
Yeah.
How does that work? What was?
So like somebody would post something about negative against the country.
Oh.
And somebody would
So it was like a news article, and they were reacting to it.
Yeah.
And they got in trouble because they reacted wrong to the propaganda that the government was putting out.
Even the woman that they were interviewing and went to her house that had been totally destroyed from the wars, she was a tour guide before the wars happened, and somebody had asked about, because every single business has a Syrian flag painted on it, and they were like, is that because there's so much like pride in the country, or are they made to? And she was like, the government does it for us, like they are the ones that want us to have the flag. And then she got a phone call like later that day or something. You said this, and she goes, no, I didn't.
Oh,
and they were like, you were on this street, and people
just because she pointed out the obvious.
Yeah, and spoke the truth of
Oh my God, that's
just a simple, like no,
Well, it is here's the thing.
I don't think America would ever get to that point because we're all just like, what?
Well, here's the thing. So there was a girl in
You'll get canceled.
I don't know if she was in Washington D.C. or New York, but she was a Indonesian, I think, and she was participating in political activities, but she had a visa. She's not a U.S. citizen. Every country in the world, you cannot come in as an outsider, as a visa holder, and participate in political events.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot. It's against the law. So she got deported. Everybody was in an outrage because, oh, freedom of speech, this and that. But she's not a citizen.
Yeah.
You know, so.
There's like that guy that got arrested that went to Colombia too. He was on a student visa,
Mhm.
and then he was passing out. I think it was like pro Hamas stuff.
Yeah.
And
that is
people
stupid, man.
up in arms, but he already graduated. So your time here had ended.
Hmm.
But even
Oh, that guy. That
yeah.
just happened. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like even just as a visitor, like when I went to Paris, I was like just trying very hard to be either as passable as possible as somebody that lives there, being very calm with my face and my actions
Yeah.
because that's how they are. And then also too, when I'm in situations where maybe I can't communicate totally properly or whatever, I'm just trying to be as nice as possible because
Be
I'm
a good
in your
tourist.
house.
Yeah, exactly. Be a good tourist. Be a good guest.
Yeah.
I know. I see it. I don't know if you heard about that dude in the Philippines, Russian dude who just got arrested, and he was just being an idiot. And he was
The live streamer?
yes,
Because there's a live streamer that
maybe.
definitely different guy in South Korea.
Oh no,
is
that
like-
guy was a different guy. No,
No, yeah.
This
but
is
like
a Russian
similar,
dude.
probably.
Yeah, this is a Russian dude. He just recently got arrested. I
We
watched
learned
this.
nothing from Logan Paul.
I know it. Well, I followed this girl on YouTube. Her name is P-E-A,
Okay.
but she goes by the Filipino P. And I don't want to say anything bad about her. But I mean, I love her show. I love her content. I just don't like her delivery.
Mm.
But in fact, I want to say she's in Daytona right now.
Oh, no way. Wow.
Yeah, I know. She was in Australia for a little while. But here's the thing. This girl bought furniture for some reason that she's sleeping on, and she's in Daytona. I think she's here for a while. Anyways, and if she's ever watching this, I would love to have her on my podcast. But anyways, she was talking about this guy, the Russian guy who got arrested. And she had this attorney on her show, and they were just, doing the Zoom call or whatever. And but this dude was just being stupid. And it's like, you're Russian, but I thought only Americans acted that stupid, where you think that everybody bows down to your country, and so you can do whatever you want. And that's the way this dude was acting. He was just being obnoxious. I don't know who was holding the camera for him, because somebody was holding the camera for him, but he would just steal stuff and treat people like shit.
Yeah, the guy in Korea was drinking the
I remember that guy.
7-Eleven. Yeah, spilling noodles everywhere, following people around with dead fish.
Yeah,
What
just
the fuck is wrong with you?
yeah. I mean, do you not have any common sense? But I really thought only Americans did that shit. But yeah, this dude was Russian, and I guess the Russians are just as stupid. So.
Well, there's a lot of. I love me a good Russian dash cam compilation.
Oh, I know that.
That is a.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about my car is that if anything happens, it catches it.
Yeah. There's a great YouTuber who is Russian. I forget where he's living now, because he's dealing with this situation of like being able to maintain his visa in the country that he is in now, because YouTube ads and the monetization you can get from that can be so awesome, but also extremely volatile. And for him to be able to stay in this country that he's in now, I think he moved out of Georgia. I think he's somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Oh.
You have to have a certain income and be able to prove that income every single month to maintain your visa.
Oh yeah. You got to do that in many countries.
Okay, yeah. And so he was like talking about that and stuff. Wow. But yeah, he's and he used to say it all the time, but like his channel pretty much, it's like all capital letters, but it pretty much says no fuckers. But like NFKRS, I think is his channel name. Because he'd be like, it's your boy Roman, no fuckers here. Like
Your boy Roman.
Yeah.
Funny.
Roman, he's a really great guy, but he's from Russia, and he studied English, and that's why he knows English so well. And but it's fascinating when you go to other countries and see their perspective. And I was surprised when I was in Paris how nice the Parisians were to me, which goes to show that I was, I don't know, at least funny to them because I was telling everybody I love them.
That's the thing about a worldview. Because if you've got a good worldview, you realize the world is watching you.
Oh,
okay.
Especially the Parisians are definitely watching
Totally.
you.
I mean, they are in the center of Europe.
They're
Everybody's watching the Parisians. Yes.
Look at that.
In America, we all think we're anonymous. And then we can go in any country, we can do whatever we want, and we'll go ahead and post it on YouTube, but nobody knows me. I can do whatever I want here. The first time I went to Ecuador, I had that mindset that, that this, America will protect me because I'm American. I'm so much better than everybody else. And, like, I remember my friend Dan and I were walking down the sidewalk drinking beer in Ecuador, in Quito. And years later, I realized, oh, that was against the law. No wonder all these people were looking at us like we were lunatics. But, we were, think about Dan, he was, I don't want to say he's crazy, but he is very confident. And so and he was a high school football hero and, just a big, strong dude. And so we were walking on the sidewalk, we're drinking our beer and everything, and everybody's looking at us and like, Dan's like, I don't give a fuck. And so that was, but years later I realized that, man, that was totally against the law. We could have been arrested for that shit.
Well, and I'm sure it would have been different if you guys were like hanging off of people's terraces.
Yeah,
and, like,
really drawing attention
trying
to
to poke people in the tummy. I don't know.
We were just walking down the sidewalk drinking beer, not really thinking about it. And we weren't even, I don't even think we were drunk. We were just like not wanting to sit there and drink this beer for some reason. But yeah, people were like, these guys are nuts. But that's the way Americans are. We misrepresent our country all the time, or
so
poorly
funny
represent our country.
That some people are like, oh, we shouldn't be deporting all these people and stuff. But then those are the same people that are like, oh, America sucks. I want to move.
I know, yeah.
Well, if it sucks so bad, why do you want all these? Why wouldn't that be mean to want all other people to go through it? It's so weird.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know it.
When my friend Katie, she's the one that lived in China for quite a few years and taught Disney English. When she
taught what English?
English for Disney. She worked for Disney English.
She was teaching she was teaching English at Disney.
She was teaching English.
This is my first non-alcoholic beer, by the way.
In China through Disney English. They have like schools and stuff.
Oh.
Which I think they like shut down or
so
something.
Were
like
they
that.
trying to recruit people to work at the China Pavilion?
They were very far away from where
By the way,
Disney is.
do you remember that girl
Chengdu.
that came, the Chinese girl that came to visit me?
Yeah.
Okay. We went to Epcot when she went
Yeah.
to the China Pavilion. She was so disappointed.
It's so funny you say that
so
too.
Disappointed.
When I was walking with my friends in Paris, and I was like, guys, wow, doesn't this look just like Epcot?
Doesn't this look just like
I was pretty
Epcot?
drunk when I said that. So I
Oh,
don't know
that
if
is
they
so
remember,
funny. Oh my
but-
god.
Wow, they really did it. And like in the new Epic Universe, they have one of the areas is 1920s France. And now that I've been to France and I like saw how they did the architecture and like their rail systems and stuff, I was like, wow, they really did a good job. There's another lady I watch on YouTube, Prepper Princess. Love this lady. She is like how to live beyond below your means and like she's awesome.
Oh, she's a prepper.
She's like a prepper, but not like she does not have like a stockpile of like all this stuff, and she just is. She has her funds. She is able to grow her funds. She has a house.
I think
paid off.
Well, go ahead. Tell me more about it.
So she was like, I did some traveling when I was younger, but instead of spending all this money on travel, now that I don't really want to spend, I just go on YouTube and watch these videos about these places, and it kind of satisfies
I was
me.
literally saying that the other day, something similar. Because I made some AI videos, some AI travel videos, and I posted a new image on my Facebook. I said, I don't have to travel anymore. I can get great pictures from AI. I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I can watch YouTube, learn all about the place. I don't have to smell the smells and feel the heat. I can see it all, and then I can
And
go
the
to AI
fun.
and get a picture of me in that place and post it on Facebook. I look like somebody doing stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm not doing anything anymore.
See, that's like where like the apocalyptic AI images
Yeah.
enter my mind, where you're just wearing like a virtual reality thing, and you haven't gone up in months.
Well, my friend at work, Thomas, he's got the AI stuff, and he'll tell you, man, it's like crazy because it's like you put it on and you're in this different world, and then when you take it off, it's like you've got to decompress because now you've gone
Regain
from
your senses.
yeah, exactly, because you've gone into this AI world, and you said you can sit there and watch movies.
Mhm.
You can be in a theater watching movies with other people,
Yes.
and then it's like you take it off, and you're like, oh, man, it's like waking up from a really good or really bad dream.
I have definitely. So I have. My whole life, I've always had extraordinarily vibrant and real dreams,
Interesting.
and I definitely would not like some of those to be true.
No, I know it. I know it.
I've had reoccurring dinosaur dreams.
Dinosaurs?
Yeah. Every now and then, every couple of years, I'll have some more dinosaur dreams.
Wow.
But it's like real. I mean, the other day I had a dream where like I stepped on something and I was like, wow, that hurts, like in my dream. So I try when I always listen to YouTube as I'm falling asleep, and I'll like queue up a few videos,
Oh,
and then
boy.
I'll have like meditation stuff come on after, whether it's like it could be real meditation stuff, or sometimes I'll have stuff on that's like
So does that help you?
Bible stuff, but like
dreams go?
yeah, helps like because
So you're
I've
dreaming Bible shit, and you're like, oh.
well I've had some really crazy dreams, and then I wake up to crazy stuff happening on the like.
Well, you know what I
No
like.
wonder why I was having a nightmare. I was watching a video of somebody else watching a
Oh
horror
yeah.
movie.
Well, that's what I do. I'll take ashwagandha or bacopa before bed.
I've been taking ashwagandha.
Well,
in my
I used to
blend.
take bacopa just for the day, and then I was taking ashwagandha at night. But you take ashwagandha, glutathione, and magnesium before bed.
Oh, magnesium's so good. Yeah.
Man, you will have some great dreams. And I remember waking up going, God, I've never been there before. It's like
I have lots of. Have you had a lot of? I have a lot of deja vu moments, like where I'm
I don't
in real
have those
life,
anymore. I
and
used
I'm
to
like,
have
I
a
dreamt
lot.
about this already.
No, I used to have a lot of
Place.
deja vu, but not anymore. But I do have really good dreams where I'm like, that's a brand new place I was at. It's like there are some days, especially when you're having like a good streak of dreams. It's like I can't wait to get to bed. It's like watching a new movie or watching a good series. You're like, I can't wait to see where I go tonight.
Oh, I've had so many like serving dreams too.
Mm.
And there was one time where I was dreaming that I was at Honu, and I just kept getting sad, and I was like, but I couldn't that's like the biggest thing in like in dreams. You can't physically get away from a table or something.
I do hate that working dreams because I'm like,
I already worked my
working.
shift.
That's right, you're working. That's what I hate because I'll be dreaming and I'm working and I know I'm dreaming and I'm like, come on, man. Is your rest really that good if you're dreaming about working?
Well, I've had plenty of dreams where I'm like dreaming about these scenarios where I'm at work, and then I realize, wait, I don't work here, like in my dream, and I like kind of have like a lucid dreaming moment. And there was one time where it was specifically at Honu, and I was trying to like get up and over the fence, but as if like you're in a video game and you're trying to make your character like go somewhere, but then you realize that you can't progress past this invisible wall, so you're just kind of like going up and down a little bit. And then I was like, oh, I gotta go out the gate, not over the wall.
Funny. Yeah, no, I hate working
Super
dreams.
fun.
I remember when I was a bellman at the guest quarters hotel in Barrow, and I was in my 20s, and I was working. I wasn't working a lot, but I would have dreams where the elevator door would ding, and it would open up, and somebody's carrying their own bags. I'd get so pissed off because I was a bellman. And I was be so upset. And that would just happen over and over again.
No,
Like, dang it!
$1 tip.
Yeah, that's right. I made good money back then, but yeah, I was so frustrated. Like, these people are always carrying their own bags.
Weren't you did you do ballet too?
I did ballet.
Yeah.
I ballet. My first ballet gig was at the Yacht and Beach Club at Disney. And after like, that was the first time I ever got a job valet parking, and I wanted to be a valet parker forever because I've been playing soccer my whole life. I like to run, I like to sprint, and so I wanted to be a valet parker.
That's my worst nightmare.
That's so funny because I love
sprinting and running.
I loved running, and I loved driving cars and stuff. So I got that job, and I worked there 2 weeks, and I got fired. And I remember the manager coming out and saying, "Hey, Mike, we're gonna have to let you go." I'm like, "Why?" And but one of the guys had told me, "Hey, man, you're making us look bad." And I'm like, "How?" Because I was literally racing everybody out to the lot and racing everybody back, and I was literally just making everybody look like a slacker, basically, because I was just enjoying my job, making money, because we got to keep our tips and everything, and I was making good tips, and I was hustling. And 2 weeks I got fired. So then I went and I got a job somewhere else out in the Magic Kingdom. I was working 20,000 leagues under the sea, driving a sub for a while. Yeah, sub driver, Disney sub driver, and then.
Well, Joel that you met at the wedding that does the hot sauce, he was working in actual submarines.
Oh yeah, he was in the Navy.
So you guys will have to.
Oh yeah, I'll have to share all of my experience. He'll love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Swap.
Yeah, I was easily 2 feet under the surface.
Yeah.
2 feet under the surface.
Yeah.
And then I started valet parking at a nightclub in Orlando, and then for bigger valet companies. But I valet parked all through college. I mean, I loved it. I just loved the running, and I was in great shape. I was just sprinting and running.
Surprised they didn't call you Forrest.
No, they didn't.
Oh, that's fine.
No, they never. That was before Forrest, though. Yeah, it's way back then.
Sorry.
Yeah. But it was. I love valet parking. In fact, even now, I'm like, I should go get a job valet parking. It would just keep me in shape, But
everybody would hate you even more. This fucking guy.
This fucking old guy trying to outrun us.
God.
And and I'm sure I would just be, I'd start sprinting and just start stumbling and fall and do a big face plant, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, this guy's making us look bad." It's like all coming back around.
Oh, my shins.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got shin splints.
Yeah.
I got a face planted scarf.
I forgot to take my B vitamins today. I'm not feeling too good. Or I took all my vitamins on an empty stomach. Hold on, I have to go throw up.
Oh, I've done that before. I took vitamin A one time. I'm like, what's vitamin A? Took like 2 of them on an empty stomach. Oh my God.
Like, wow. I'm not just about to unhave those vitamins.
Because I take a lot of supplements on an empty stomach in the morning.
Oh.
But I know now what I can take and what I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I try in the morning. I've been trying to get back on the horse. I always start this stuff like right before I'm about to leave, mostly to come down here.
Mm-hmm.
So like I start to try to have a system 3 days before I can't have that system. But been trying to have powdered colostrum first in the morning.
I've had that, yeah.
They say you can add it to your coffee and stuff, but it turns out you want to have, that's like one of those major important things to have totally on an empty stomach.
Really? Not even coffee?
Yeah. And then the bone broth, whether I make it or have powdered bone broth, and then I'll have coffee.
Well, see, I'll put ghee and salt, like Celtic sea salt, in my coffee, so it tastes like bone broth. It does.
I love bone broth, and when I make it, I now know I hate having celery in it. Like I cannot put the
Who's
celery.
putting celery in their bone broth?
Well, a lot of people do because it's like scraps, like the end of the celery and stuff.
Isn't that just like soup?
Yeah.
Oh. So you're not just like drinking bone broth, just drink bone broth. You're just
Well,
drinking soup out of a mug.
but bone broth is like what you like back in the like, especially the way my mom makes soup. Yeah, I mean you're supposed to let the carcass of the chicken really sit in there, get the nutrients out, and then you make the rest of your soup. But with me, I can do it that way, where I'm making a really highly nutritious soup, or I am just slowly letting these bones simmer. But when I make my own, I do not like the flavor of having celery in there. But I'll have scraps of the onions, scraps of carrots, other things to pull nutrients out of.
Very interesting.
You know, put some turmeric, black pepper in there. It's a good time. Really good, good for your gut.
I gotta wash my hands.
This break
Oh man.
is brought to you by my future business, Wagner Works. You can follow us online at Wagner Works, WORX for Works on Instagram. I have to make a Facebook page and stuff. We'll be in Murphy, North Carolina. It is the home of the future Spirit Halloween. Every failed business turns into a Spirit Halloween, so that might happen to us someday. Who knows? Stay tuned. It is your local professional dive bar. This episode is also brought to you by Gray Matters in Murphy. You can get all your beautiful women's, like this shirt, women's clothing and accessories, owned by Tanya. She is incredible. And then this episode is also brought to you by this podcast, MS, Michael Slatton. And right now we're just chatting with Slatton. And while he's on his little break, I urge you to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe if you know anything about subjects we've been talking about, if you know more, enlighten us in the comments. If you have questions about things, ask away. There are things such as stupid questions, so maybe watch yourself on that, It is a thing. It is a thing that happens. I don't recommend you asking us what our favorite carrot is. That's a little silly. But if this was a culinary podcast, maybe that would be really good. But we're not, as we're eating beaver nuggets. And I'm still on this first beer. This Dragon Milk's pretty intense. This is from Michigan. Earlier, we had Ginger's Revenge, that is made in Western North Carolina. Highly recommend their stuff, especially if you go to their place in Asheville. They did get severely affected by the Helene hurricane that came through, but then now they are back and fully operational. Hope to have them on tap at Wagner Works someday. For a good time, Because this is definitely going to blow you. Ginger's Revenge? Yeah, you feel good. It's alcoholic ginger beer. This stuff, though, this I'm sure has a lot of sugar in there. It's 11%. That's quite heavy. That is a heavy one. I don't know if you can tour this facility. If you ever need a good recommendation on a brewery that you should tour, my favorite is Allagash Brewing in Maine. Great place. They give you the legal limit of beer that you can have free. You have 2 more, last time I checked, breweries on the same road. We're currently in Dunedin, Florida. There is a lot of breweries down here. My favorite would be Woodwright. They have a lovely Hefeweizen. My favorite beer ever in the whole world is their Hefeweizen. And he's back.
Still going.
Yeah.
Here, I just brought it.
Perfect. I have to go to the bathroom, so now it's your turn.
All right. Well, now
Your
let's see how
turn.
many viewers we've got here. Jesus. I gotta grab my glasses here. Fell off my head. Oh. Let's see how many viewers we've got here. Oh my goodness, look at all those viewers. Got my cell phone here. Let's see if we've got any views. Thank you for tuning in. Camera looks crooked. What's this 611? Let's see. Test. One watching, which is me, 28 minutes ago. One viewer. Viewers. 5. 2 views. Share. Copy link.
Have you been entertaining people?
Yes.
Are you entertained?
Yeah, I shared the live.
You should send it to my mom.
Well, no, I'm going to.
She would support us. Donna is a great cheerleader.
I just sent it to.
I'm a great cheerleader. I love sharing stuff. Sharing with passion is what I do.
Yes. You know, we're a full hour into this live. Nobody has watched us, but now I'm finally sending out some invites right now. John Hodges, no, I'm not gonna send it to my boss. Right.
Yes, I think I learned how to be an adult, hopefully.
Okay, good.
And use my bodily functions properly.
Excellent. Nice work. Let's see.
Not Dan Beaver.
I know, these things are delicious.
Anybody else?
Hello.
Oh.
Are you watching the YouTube? Hello? I'm in my office.
Hi.
Enjoy your dry run.
Did you see the link I sent you?
I just started watching it and then I stopped because
God, this I don't know how you drink this.
But are you drinking beer?
Janelle is. I'm just watching her drink beer.
You got this milk stout that's so heavy.
Yeah, she likes the stout beers.
No, I don't.
I told her let's get some non-alcoholic beer.
So what did you drink?
I'm just drinking non-alcoholic beer.
No.
See, look, this is what I'm drinking right there.
Groovy.
Golden, non-alcoholic.
This stuff is terrible.
See, that's what she's drinking.
I don't like this.
Janelle's an alcoholic.
No.
I try to help her.
Why did you reveal it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be anonymous.
Yeah.
I gotta throw all my chips away now. Everybody knows.
Look, she got you some treats, but we ate them.
I thought you were not eat chunks.
No, I didn't want to. She made me. I did not want to eat these.
That's like
So what's the culprit?
Janelle. Janelle's a bad influence. Listen,
Very
I was just gonna
influential.
eat steak and drink non-alcoholic beer. Actually, I was gonna drink filtered tap water.
and throw some nuts at some squirrels.
Yes.
Okay, I will watch the video.
All right, baby.
I have a question. I'll just message you.
Okay, yeah. Message us on here so that I know it's working.
Like, comment,
I'm your
subscribe.
messenger.
No, message it through YouTube.
Really?
Yes. So that I know it's working.
Yeah, but you check your messenger also.
Because nobody seems to be watching. Not even you. So nobody's watching our live. We've been live for an hour and 11 minutes. And you aren't even watching.
I almost choked to death, so it was, we got good stuff. We got good content.
Yes, we got some good content, baby.
Yeah.
I will watch it. Just reply the messenger. I
Okay.
have a question.
All right, we'll do.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I love you.
Every time like I leave a room or come into a room with Kyle, I'm like, and he goes. Even at work, it's so funny. I could be losing my shit at work, which doesn't happen very often. But one Sunday, people were just very inconsiderate, and it was annoying the shit out of me. But at least Kyle was there. Work goes better when you have somebody that can poke you in the butt and make you feel better,
What
you
did
know?
she say? She said, this girl is from Rhonda. She is Janelle's friend too. She is in America now.
Rhonda?
Rhonda is the town that Joyce is from. Rhonda, Cebu, Philippines.
Wait, do I know a Rhonda?
She said, this girl is from Rhonda. She is Janelle's friend too.
Is her name Marissa?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of people that I know that have family. Well, I mean, she was adopted.
Who is the girl from Rhonda that you were talking about?
My brain is just going, help me, Rhonda, help me,
You're
Rhonda.
probably friends with somebody. You're probably
It's a
friends
small
with
world.
somebody. Yeah, I know. Somebody said, hey, want to be friends? And you were like, yeah, you look like a cute girl, and she happens to be from Rhonda, and she's a friend of Joyce's, because Joyce is a friend of me, and who knows how that all works.
My old friend Marissa, back in the day, in the early days of the internet, we would call each other on the phone and type in, like, I specifically remember we went to talk about, using the internet to travel. We were doing this back in 2006, maybe-ish, around there, calling each other on the phone. We would go to the same place in the random part of the world, and we would essentially walk down the street together by going Google Street View and clicking on the button that keeps you going down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd stop and we'd look at stores and we'd point out people on the street, but we'd just be on the phone in Derry, New Hampshire, looking at people in Australia.
That's funny.
Yep. That's what we did when we were like 10, 11, traveling the world together.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Via the World Wide Web.
Well, I remember when my mom, because I got on the internet, I'm 58. When I was like 23, my mom was talking to me about the internet. And how she could get on the internet, and she'd get on these bulletin board systems and chat with people from Europe.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, you're chatting with people from Europe? Yes. And she made friends, and she was playing video games with these people. When she died, she had this group of friends from Europe that she played video games with. And these were like World of Warcraft game. I don't even know. But they had a clan that they would go from beta test to beta test playing these new games. And when she died, I had to, I went through her computer because I knew that I needed to tell her friends. And so I found one of her friends in an email, and I told them exactly, what had happened, that I was her son. And I was going through her email address, of course, but I told them the story and told them how my mother had died and that she really valued you guys and that she wanted you to know. And then everybody in this clan wrote like a paragraph or two of how she had impacted their lives. And you think that all that shit online, it's just like video game, but you know what? Those were her friends.
Yeah.
Those were absolutely her friends.
I have two couple friends. So, one of my friends from New Hampshire, met their husband through playing a game, and I think it was through a forum about the game. That's how they met, and he lived in California, and now they both live in California together. They've been, Shannon, Ethan, they've been together since high school. I mean, I think they're like 12 years together so far or
Oh my
something like
God.
that.
Wow.
And then my friends, Mike and Serena, that live just south of here,
Mm-hmm.
they met while playing a game. It's kind of like World of Warcraft in the way of like it keeps going even when you
Right,
log off.
right.
Like it's a live game.
Yep.
And because they had teammates all over the world, they had a WhatsApp thing, and just one day Mike was like, Serena, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm absolutely in love with you and I don't know what to do about that.
Oh my God.
And they've been together ever since.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I met Kyle online, but through a dating website, but it's amazing all the couples.
That's how I met Joyce.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Does
amazing.
anybody meet anybody any other way anymore?
And Kyle and I were literally lived 10 minutes away from each other, and the guy that I met before him, that I met organically, ended up peeing in my kitchen. So sometimes meeting online is best, or else you get somebody peeing in your kitchen.
Oh my God.
That was so fun.
I'm sure Kyle loves hearing about that story.
And he knows him. Kyle actually went to high school with him. And guess where that guy moved to? Northwest Georgia.
No.
Yeah.
So he's your neighbor again, more or less.
More or less. I mean, like, I'm hopefully at least an hour and a half from him at the moment, but when we actually move over there, who knows? Oh my God. But we're not friends on Facebook anymore. I don't know if you can
I
root
hate
from
these
there,
things.
but I can't believe you showed Joyce. I did buy those for her, but I was curious and also hungry, and I think you were too, so you know. Our property in Georgia is not too far from a Buc-ee's, and we do need to
really?
go to our property fairly soon, so maybe I'll mail some down to you.
Well, I want to go to Buc-ee's. There is a
love
Buc-ee's in Jacksonville, but I didn't
Buc-ee's.
stop there.
There's one in Jacksonville, Daytona. I think they're building one in Ocala.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ocala. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a big Buc-ee's stan. It's so funny. You asked me earlier too about like where I shop at Murphy, and Kyle's parents, they live up there, and there's a store called Alexander's, and they totally made it sound like Alexander's is the only place that you can get anything, that they have everything you need, and that's how it came off to us, as if there's no other really place to shop other than Alexander's. Turns out, I think Alexander's is pretty far for them, considering there are plenty other places to go shopping up there, especially.
So what is Alexander's?
And Kyle and I tried to go one day, and it was closed on Sundays.
No.
Everything was closed on Sundays there. We will be closed on Sundays, because you know what? Why not?
Well, you know
who
what?
needs to do that much work on a Sunday?
Sleep in, man.
Yeah. It's have been unzippered.
Oh boy.
I went to the bathroom, and I did not zip them back up. Well, that was fun. And everybody will know forever now. And, but yeah, no, there's plenty of other places. Alexander's has, like, clothes. I don't think they have any food, and then kitchenware.
Alexander's, hold on.
Well, I would be shocked if you ever heard of this place. It's not a chain.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Alexander's is where?
In
Murphy?
Blairsville, Georgia.
Hey, Google. How many Alexander's stores are there aside from Blairsville?
Sorry, I don't understand.
All right.
Hey Google, is Alexander's in Blairsville, Georgia a chain?
Alexander's store is on 4482 Town Creek School Road in Blairsville and is 476 miles away.
All right. Thank you.
There was one time I was dog sitting and I was watching Shameless, and in that show, one of the characters goes, "Hey, can you Google?" I'm trying not to trigger it. Do you need all your toes? And then I did not know that they had a Google Home thing, and so it triggered the Google, and all of a sudden I hear, "Do you need all your toes? You do not need all your toes to walk. What you predominantly need," and it was like going into detail about like, do you need your toes or not? And I was like, Where is this coming from? Oh, somebody broke in and was telling me about the necessities of your toad. I'm scared.
Woo!
One time, I think I've told you the story, but it's such a good story. I used to have a Google Home when I lived alone in Dunedin, and I had it changed to a male's voice. So that when I would come home, I would say, "Hey," you know the word. I don't want to trigger it. I'm home, and it would go, "Hello, Janelle," and it would give me a joke, and then start playing today's hottest hits.
Oh, cool.
So one time I was cleaning out my kitchen, and I was like, "Do I even have anything in this cabinet above my sink?" And I open it up, and I'm like, "Oh, I totally forgot that I had." Essentially like a Bisquick, like ready to go pancake stuff. And I had it double bagged because I did not want any bugs getting to it once it was open. I pull it down and I open it and it's all moldy. And I went, "Oh no." Google went, "I hope everything's okay."
Oh, shut up.
I'm like just looking at the mold going, "Uh-huh."
Oh, no.
It was weird. But there's also, you can like have it like listen for broken glass if somebody breaks in, things like that.
Oh, really?
But that was weird that it independently goes, "I hope everything's okay."
And I know it's not supposed to be listening, but it's listening.
Well, they're waiting. They're ready.
I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be the best Google Mini
Did you
ever.
need me? No? Okay. Yeah, we used to, when we lived with Kyle's parents in their garage apartment, for a brief moment we had the Alexa still plugged in, but then I would see the Alexa light up but not make a sound.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I think they're listening to us. Like
listening.
them, like his parents. And then his parents, after we moved out, a couple months later, his dad told us a story about how, like, they went to a friend's house, the guys are hanging out all together, the girls are hanging out all together, and the husband was like, "Oh, I turned off the sound on the Alexa, like, we can say, hey, connect to this Alexa, and it will listen to what's..." So they were, like, joking around with the ladies and listening in on them.
Oh,
and I'm like,
gosh.
Oh, so you can make it listen to other people without it making the noise, but it still lights up.
I did not know you could do that. Hey, Google, listen to the living room speaker.
Okay, the living room from Spotify. Playing on the living room speaker 1.
Playing on the living room speaker 1.
I don't hear any music. But this is with Alexa. I don't know about the Google Homes.
Yeah, I know.
It is playing down there.
Hey, Google, stop.
Alright, stopping living room speaker 1.
Interesting. Mm-hmm.
My friends Mike and Serena, they have a very high-tech house, and Mike has hooked everything up so, like, you don't have to flick on the lights and stuff. You just say something or whatever. And but Serena was having a hard time remember which switches not to touch, so he 3D printed a clip that goes over the ones that she should not touch. Like it won't allow her to touch them.
Funny.
Yeah. So had a a great opportunity to use my 3D printer in my high-tech home. Like, I love that.
Well, with these tariffs, I was figuring that more people are going to start making more stuff. Because, I buy those...
America needs to make more stuff.
Well,
We used to make tons of shit.
I buy those containers from China,
Mm-hmm.
and they're about 50 cents a piece for a keeper ball. And I could easily make them with a 3D printer.
Yeah. I mean, that would take forever.
It would.
That would literally take forever.
I'd get an order and I'd say, "Oh man, I gotta make some containers," and I'd be one at a
3
time.
hours later, you get
But I
one
could
done.
probably do 10 lids at a time, and then 10 bodies at a time, and then. But
That's
yeah,
true.
it would take a lot of time. But those are all injection mold. But the reason we don't make stuff is because China makes it so cheap. And it's because they've got their own slave labor over there.
They do.
They don't pay their people anything. And it's like,
People are all up in arms about the whole, like, there's some influencers got a chance to go to Shein, and they're like,
oh, they
they're
went to
not,
Shein?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, well, they're not showing you the actual, like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. But
Mm-mm.
people still buy from Shein all the time. They're like, oh,
Shein's super cheap,
you
man.
should be ashamed of yourself for even going there. Meanwhile, those are the same people still buying from them.
Well, I was watching a documentary about India
Uh-huh.
and the textile industry and everything. And those people, oh man, they're not making anything really technical. They are living in absolute poverty. And I mean slum poverty. And they'll make the textiles, and then they'll clean them, and then they'll ship them. And it's like, how does it even get here clean? Because they are living
I don't
in this
know.
filth.
Well, there's some people that have to go through the landfills and pick out stuff that they can hopefully try to sell. I don't know. People complain about some stuff here. I'm like, there is plenty that needs to be changed here, but ugh.
Your mom left a comment.
Hi, mommy. What'd she say? All right, we have a commenter. Her name is
Yeah.
Zwana.
She said, Janelle, you are so funny.
Am I? Thanks. And then I spill things, and I choke to death. You really get it all on the chat with Slide.
Chat with Slatin. Yep, we got one watcher.
Do you know about the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively stuff that's going on?
No. What's Blake Lively doing? What's that about?
Do you know who Blake Lively is?
Yeah, she's married to Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And have you seen?
Because I have Mint Mobile. I
Yes.
know all about
Yes.
Ryan. And
Yes.
I'm a fan of Wrexham because of Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. Oh man.
So I know all about Ryan Reynolds,
Yes.
who's married to Blake Lively.
Blake Lively. So
Well-
she was in a movie, It Ends With Us, and long story short, is trying to have a little Me Too moment with the director who's also acting in it. But turns out that her and Ryan just wanted to steal/buy the rights of the film from Justin that's like running it. And they were like, well, if you don't do this, like, we're gonna put out this information that like I was sexually harassed and stuff. And so they're trying to get out of the lawsuit now that they started. And
So what do you think
Heard about
Blake Lively was? I'm sure she was sexually harassed.
I
can almost
well
guarantee it.
well
But I don't know about
from this guy though, like he's kind of like the perfect, not victim, but like he literally, and he released audio from one of the scenes that she had complaints about, because it was supposed to be a scene that like there was no talking and stuff, and she was like, oh, he was acting as himself and not his character, and totally misrepresented a situation that happened where he was like, she put in quotes, he said that it smells so good pertaining to her, but totally left out the fact that she was like, I said like I think I stink or something like that, and he was like, no, you smell fine, and she was like, oh, like my fake tanner, and he was like, oh, it smells fine, and she was like, oh, that's probably my body makeup, but then like try to say that like he was acting. Yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole. But even in the recent Deadpool movie, Ryan Reynolds has Nice Pool that he has based off of Justin Baldoni, because he's like a male feminist and had for a while he had a ponytail, but he was only growing out his hair to donate to cancer. Like, this guy could not be more of like the most like nicest,
Yeah.
admits when he's wrong type person. And like even when Blake and Ryan went to the SNL 50, they made a joke in pertaining to what Blake is going through right now, which I would not ever have my husband make a joke in reference to the sexual harassment lawsuit I have going on.
Yeah. Wow.
There's a whole lot of, yeah. I think that's why I think that, you know, independent media is gonna do great. You know, all the regular media is falling apart.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. Yeah, I had no idea about.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Ryan really infiltrated himself on that whole situation.
Yeah, well, you always think you want to think the best of people, and I like Ryan Reynolds just because he is a pretty good marketer, and he's a decent actor, and he's pretty funny. But you really don't know what people are up to.
So much is coming up about him and like people that just won't work with him anymore.
Really?
Oh yeah, and there's and they've like said this years ago, and like all this stuff now.
So has he gotten a god complex?
That's what it sounds like. And one of his teachers said that he is very narcissistic, like teachers, like from back in the day. Then you got people like.
So he's always been that way.
Yeah.
Just manipulating everybody. So he's not nice at all. He's just a manipulator.
He still does things to this day that to affect his ex-wife, Scarlett Johansson. He used to be married to her, and she's now married to. Oh.
Hey Google, who is Scarlett Johansson married to?
Scarlett Johansson has been married to Colin Yost since 2020.
Colin Yost does the SNL like newscast part of the show.
Oh, that guy?
That guy.
Oh, he's kind of nerdy. She's married to him?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So guess who has to make an appearance while all this stuff is going on at SNL? Ryan Reynolds. And guess who she was supposed to be directing her first director's credit ever was going to be with Justin Baldoni's company. And then there was like a whole thing with Channing Tatum. Ryan Reynolds got Channing Tatum to be a part of Deadpool because Channing Tatum said a long time ago that he's always like that or wanted to be a superhero or something like that. And so Ryan Reynolds is like, oh, I'll make your dreams come true with that. Meanwhile, Channing Tatum is about to start on a new venture or has been filming something with Scarlett Johansson. It's so like some people have
that is so funny.
Like these brains where they can just look at everything like at a spider web and they're like, okay, here's my next move. A chessboard, if you will.
Yeah.
All these things that can be connected back to getting back at this one person. It's wild. He's quite the onion.
Yeah,
lots of layers.
Yeah, I never really thought that much about him, but.
Well, Lacey Gibbs, I actually cannot get Mint Mobile because I'm in such a rural area. They're like, we do not recommend you getting our service.
Well, they were using the Verizon network for the longest time, and now they're on the. Hey Google, who owns Mint Mobile?
T-Mobile US.
Yeah, T-Mobile.
According to Wikipedia, Mint Mobile LLC is a mobile virtual network operator owned by T-Mobile US.
I know anybody that's
T-Mobile
T-Mobile
phone
up there.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Kyle has Verizon.
Here's the thing. My first cell phone was with Ariel. Ever heard of Ariel?
Nope.
No.
Only the mermaid.
Ariel got bought by. Who did they get bought?
AT&T?
No, Sprint. Was it Sprint? And then Sprint got bought by. Yeah, Ariel got bought by Sprint, and so then I was like, okay, I'm tired of this. And then I got away from Ariel and Sprint and went with T-Mobile, and then switched to somebody else. I don't know, but it's all come back around because T-Mobile bought Sprint, which had bought Ariel, and then they bought Mint, and so now it's just like I'm back to the beginning.
Yeah.
But here's the thing
Monopoly.
too. When I got my cell phone, it was $50 a month, and I was like, I know it's expensive, but it's not that much. And now I pay $15 a month. I mean, it's so cheap to have a cell phone now.
I pay $30. I have Pure Talk now. I pay $35 a month. 'cause I have like a
Pure talk.
protection plan on my phone. But
Does that but you bought your phone with them?
I did, and so that phone that I bought with them. So I had a Motorola 5G stylus, and I used it until like it was to the point where it took me 10 minutes to tell Kyle I was on my way home. Like really bad processing. Like if the keyboard wasn't coming up and all that jazz. But I had gotten it like 4 years prior. So I got like almost the same phone, new, no stylus. Awful, awful processing. So now I have a Google Pixel. I just went to Best Buy and just bought a new one.
So how do you like that?
I love the Google Pixel. I love it because I have all Google stuff.
And so it integrates well with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom actually now, we bought her she needed a new TV because her TV.
Because she still had a box black and
No!
white TV from the 19.
No, she had a smart TV, but then it started to like act funny. And the first thing that was like, holy shit, something has to be wrong with this. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it started to narrate what was on the screen. So
Oh,
that like, and for you to be able to turn that on, you have to go to the settings. You
right.
have to go to like, there's a lot of buttons my mom would have
Yeah,
had
it's
to
an
hit.
accessibility function
Yes.
for
And it was
blind
on
people.
Netflix.
So blind people can watch TV.
Can they really watch though?
If somebody's
Anyways,
explaining.
but so she was about to watch. She had it on this movie, and she was like, "Okay, before I play this, I'm gonna like do the dishes or something." And the movie was called "Don't Move,"
Oh my god.
and that's when it decided to start narrating.
Oh, shut
And
up.
it goes, and it's like the most. My mom was like, it's like the most like saddest woman ever. She goes, "Don't move." And my mom's at the kitchen.
Oh god. That would be scary.
I was like, Mom, imagine if it was the movie Get Out. Like, Get Out. And like, she was so monotone and like, So I turned it off, and then when I was over, we were trying to play YouTube, and it was like, no, shut right off. I was like, all right, we need to buy a new TV.
That's funny.
But she has a Google TV now, and so it was so quick and easy to integrate everything.
Yeah, Google TV.
Google TV.
Well, who's making the Google TV?
Hyacinth?
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm surprised I pulled that out.
A Chinese company.
China.
Aren't they all? Though?
Well, we got over $6 trillion of investments coming into the United States. Who knows?
Oh my god. Your mom said the mic really picks up on your crunching much. Which is what I was afraid of. As I was crunching, I was pushing it away. So I'm sitting there probably crunching over you. This is the absolute best live stream ever.
Have you ever seen? Do you know the song "Chocolate Rain"?
No.
What's his name? It's Chocolate Rain. I say something at work that sometimes is a little similar to his name, and I can't remember right now. Like Trey, Tayson Day. He sings "Chocolate Rain," one of the first most viral videos on YouTube, and so he'd be like, "Chocolate Rain." Oh, there's real the pain. Chocolate Rain. And because he didn't want to edit out the sound of him breathing in, so he would move away from the mic, and it says on it, I move away from the mic so I can breathe.
Rain.
And it's like, oh, there's real the pain.
Funny.
Meanwhile, the song is about political unrest, and everybody's like, look at this guy.
Oh, that was pretty funny.
So we're talking about serious things. Meanwhile, we're just crunching on beaver nuggets. Those damn beaver nuggets.
Oh, boy.
You're gonna have the last couple?
No, I was leaving them for you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm pretty
Thank
sure
you.
I touched them all, but I didn't want to be since you bought
Looking for you, Mom.
them. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to vacuum. I've got crumbs all over this chair.
Yeah, you have to vacuum your chair, but I was a lady and used a napkin.
Yeah. Well, I had to get a whole big handful.
I was a lady after I like almost exploded beer everywhere because I
Yeah,
breathed in
thank you.
incorrectly. But I didn't.
You know, you see that roller
Yeah.
thing for my chair. I should have warned you about that because I cut my toe on it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. So I meant to warn you about it when we first came up here, but I forgot.
Well,
I'm
luckily,
glad you were able to step over there and not like cut your toe as you were.
be a domino effect. Chokes, cuts toe, just can't. And then somehow I'm falling down the stairs and rolling to somebody else's house as if I was a can of Chef Boyardee.
Yep. All right, I'm ready to wrap this sucker up. Yeah, it looks like the only two people who watched were Joyce and your mom.
Heck yeah. Thank you, you beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you for chatting with Slatin.
Yes, thank you very much. And we'll catch you next time.
On the flip side, as the cool kids say,
On the flip side. Thank you.
gracias.